Hi, Kalpun Piso here. I sent a friend, a skeptic friend, an explanation. Something that the skeptics and mentally healthy atheists fail to see. And it's simple. Religious people, all religion, ideas, beliefs, and everything occurs in the brain, like I said ad nauseum. And religious beliefs mimic the beliefs of the schizophrenic and temporal lobe epileptic. Everything's in the brain. And we know for a fact that a lobotomy will cure believing God. Drugs do too, and other chemicals. Manipulate the brain, God ceased to exist, the God delusion. This is something that even the famous atheists and skeptics like Dawkins and other scholars fail to see. And they get involved in all this minutia and all this little explanation for 2 hours using all these amazing words without realizing that people of faith are using their brains to create their delusions, just like schizophrenics do. And a lot of skeptics like Dawkins do this. They fix things in one direction and they concentrate in this explanation without calling religious people for what they are. Deluded people, very similar to schizophrenics and other people that are suffering from delusions-inducing disorders. Here's the letter. Hi, Paul. I'm sending you this video email. I decided to do that. I only, do this thing with 2 fingers. Listen, just thank you for mentioning my name to your friend. The problem with all these skeptics and all these people is the big elephant in the room. They don't see it. Dawkins don't see it. No one seems to see it. They talk about all this skepticism and atheism and all that, and Dawkins comes around and fight all these believers and all these Christian people with all this very rich language and vocabulary that he has, but he misses the point. He never mentions. I don't hear him mention. And this is the guy that created the memes, mimetic idea, the viruses of the mind. And he doesn't realize, he takes for granted that we create those beliefs with the brain. This is where it comes from. He even said, oh, we are born atheists. He said that, but that's it. He says it, and that's it. This person, Dawkins, and a lot of these skeptics, they spend 2 hours in a dissertation with all these scientific things, and they fail to realize that they are thinking and creating the thoughts with the brain. They don't realize that religious belief, which is the acceptance of imaginary friends like God, as reality. It's exactly the same thing that people under status epilepticus, under drugs, with the brain manipulating the brain, do. This is the thinking. Schizophrenics, psychotic people also deeply believe that that things that are irrational are real, because they have thrown reason out the window. In other words, they have a problem with the brain. If I can give Dawkins, manipulate his temporal lobes, like a lot of neurologists done, like Dr. Persinger, for instance, that he sees, religious belief can be inducted, the feeling just manipulating the brain, and you have the feeling of God coming in you. Dawkins doesn't see that. He doesn't understand that a person that God can be created, the feeling of God or any imaginary friends can be created in the brain. The brain creates the mind via chemical reactions. It's a product of evolution, 3.5 billion years of evolution, of bacteria. That's what we are. We originated from bacteria, cyanobacteria. All the conditions on the planet were perfect. Everything in the planet was everything when the planet was created 4 billion years ago. All the conditions were perfect, and life emerged by accidents. Accidents. In other words, matter, simple inorganic compounds creating, after all this series of accidents, mutated, evolved, thinking apes. That's what we are. They don't realize that. And it's amazing that these people like Dawkins and Skeptics keep treating the religious people and believers like they're normal people. They are not. They're retarded. They're stuck. Their minds are stuck in the Middle Ages. And if you take a kid, and he's born atheist, lacking belief, and he's conditioned by parents, and they give him all the fantasies, the tooth fairy is real, Santa is real, and all that stuff. It's great. They believe it. This is no problem. They believe that, but they start analyzing things. But if the brain is defective, he keeps believing those delusions to be reality. Santa is real and all that. And he grows up, he's 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, still believes in this. Exactly the same like religious people. And they believe, if you're a Christian, you have to believe that there is guy that resurrected, that he was three people, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. See, his Holy Spirit penis, end up screwing a Jewish maiden over there named Mary, which is actually Maya, Venus. And Venus is the mother of Julius Caesar Christ, the Christus. But anyway, and he copulated that, and all of a sudden the Virgin had this body that was his own son, so he can sacrifice it, for the sin committed by a madman and a rib woman, Adam and Eve, when they accepted a forbidden fruit from a talking snake. So he have to offer his body, and then he resurrected. That's just, if you're a Christian, you have to believe that. You have to. And what does it mean? That you're retarded. And you're stuck in the past. Something is wrong with the brain. In other words, religious people believe that 2 + 2 = 5. So that's been my point all along. We create God with our brains when the brain malfunctions. And if you believe in all these things, something is wrong with you, but no different than a schizophrenic. I have a friend that believes that he has implants in the brain that produces, it's placed there by aliens to monitor his thoughts. What's the difference between that and religious belief? Believing in flying horses like the Muslims do, and resurrected saviors, zombies, like Christians do. It's no difference. God is a product of infected, deluded brains. That's where religions come from. Check these videos. I hope skeptics and mentally healthy, in other words, atheists, heed my advice. And when they discuss anything with a believer, number one truth, this believer is creating his thinking and the mind and his beliefs with the brain. And these are irrational beliefs. So let's not start with the minutiae, trying to explain why Islam is true and the other one is not true, and Christianity or shamanism or whatever. Those are delusions. Religious beliefs are simply a delusion accepting disorder, no different than status epilepticus, schizophrenia, or schizotypal disease. They're all produced by the brain, malfunctioning brain. It's like believing in God or all these fantasies. It's just like accepting 2 + 2 = 5. That's what skeptics should concentrate with, discussing all these fantasies and all this ridiculous nonsense with religious people. It's like talking to a schizophrenic. Regardless of intelligence, they can be very, very intelligent people like schizophrenic. Look at Francis Collins, for instance, head of the Genome Project, a Christ-psychotic retard, regardless of his intelligence. Pace Dio.